Hey guys, Jeff here with Fat Kids Barbecue. Welcome back to another episode. So, today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to make some homemade pastrami. So I went and I picked up this point cut corned beef. Looks really delicious. So typically when I make pastrami, what I do is I make a brine for it. Put it in the brine for 3 or 4 days, let it sit in the refrigerator and just absorb all that brine. Take it out, dump it out, dry it off, throw it on the smoker, and we're good. We're gonna do this one a little bit different. Went on that little interweb thing out there and I found this recipe. Smoked pastrami. It says 1 pre-packaged corned beef point. Got it, right there. Then we have 2 tablespoons of whole peppercorns. We got them over there. 1 tablespoon of whole coriander seeds. Great. Favorite part of the recipe? 1 can of your favorite beer. I think in this case it means my favorite beer. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put this thing in some water and we're just gonna let it sit in the fridge overnight in a bath of water. Why not? So we'll open this guy up. We'll pull him out of here. This guy looks fantastic, wow. We'll just dump it right in that bath of water. We'll get rid of its friend over here. And we'll cover it up. I'm going to cover it tight. Put some aluminum foil on it. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to set this guy in the refrigerator overnight. Then tomorrow, we're going to let this guy cook just like you would cook a beef brisket. That's what it tells me. It says, start, blah, 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 blah. I read all that already. I'm going to put it on the smoker at 250 degrees until it hits 165 degrees. And then we're going to pull it off and we're going to wrap it. We're going to put it back on until it hits an internal temperature of 204. Then we'll pull it off, let it rest, and then we'll slice it and have one heck of a sandwich. Doesn't tell me what I have to do with the beer in this recipe, so good news for me is I think I'll improvise on that. There we go. So our friend's been chilling in the refrigerator since about probably, I don't know, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock last night. It's now 6 o'clock on Sunday morning, so we're going to pull this guy out. Just going to see how it did. Huh. Just as I suspected. It's almost like using a brine except without any other seasonings. So we're going to let this guy, boy, does that look like it's going to be good. That's a good chunk of meat. It's a good chunk of corned beef. So our recipe is calling for 2 tablespoons of whole peppercorns crushed up and sprinkled all over the top. Then it's also calling for some coriander. And I've never used coriander before. I don't think I've ever needed to cook with it before. So, that aroma's good. You notice I didn't say smell? So what we're gonna do, but I'm gonna add a little garlic to it because, well, why not? So we'll just sprinkle this right over the top. We have the Traeger pellet grill warming up outside at 225 degrees. We're gonna cook this just like you would cook a beef brisket. I didn't need to use any binder on here because, well, it was in an ice bath all night. Well, not really an ice bath, but in the refrigerator in water all night. So there's plenty of moisture on here. I'm going to flip this guy over because we do want to cover all sides. We'll let this absorb in here for probably about a half an hour, and then we'll get it out onto the grill. It is early, so I can't remember if I told you what we're cooking with, but we are using pecan pellets. There's a surprise. So, alright, it's pitch black outside, so we'll get this guy out there in about 20 to 30 minutes, and hopefully the sun will be up by then. Alright guys, so we're outside at the grill. The Mother Nature slept in. So it's been about a half an hour since we've seasoned our corned beef. It's about time we get it on. We are going to be using our temperature probe today so we can keep an eye on this thing so we don't have to sit around and watch it all day. The grill will do its thing without us hanging out and looking at it every 5 minutes, but we can open it up on the Wi-Fi app and see what's going on. Alright, so we have the Wi-Fi app going. We're going to set our meat probe for a temperature of about 160 degrees. Once this hits 160, we're going to pull it off and wrap it just like you would a beef brisket. Alright, so I'm glad I started this thing early today. It took us actually about 7 hours to get up to 160 degrees. So what we're going to do, open this guy up, we're going to take our meat probe out, and then we're going to wrap this in tin foil. We're actually going to do a double wrap too. And I was kidding earlier about the beer. We're going to pour some beer over the top of it to give it a nice flavor. Take this guy. Work this up. So we're just going to pour some beer onto it. That'll give us a nice little flavor. Now we'll take a second layer of tin foil. You could use butcher paper. I just don't happen to have any. Now we'll wrap that up good. Put this right back on the trigger. We are going to put our probe into it. Again, now we're going to let this sit until it hits about 200 degrees, and then we'll come and check on it. We're back in the kitchen. Our meat probe went off outside, and our friend here hit a temperature of 204 degrees. So I said, you know what? Time to pull it off. We're gonna let it hang out in this cooler here. I might even put a beer in there with it for some fun. We're gonna let it hang out in there. Oh, is that thing tender. This thing is gonna be unbelievable. Simply amazing. So we're gonna wrap it up, wrap it in another piece of tin foil, simply because I don't want any of the juices that are in here to get all over the towels. So we'll put a towel down in the bottom of it. And then we're gonna take this guy and we're gonna let it hang out in this cooler for the next hour, maybe 2 hours, and then we'll see how we did. So it's been a couple of hours and I decided that, you know what, I just can't wait anymore. Alright, I'm lying, it's only been about a half an hour, but I really need to know how good this thing came out. Let's see. Wow, is that hot? I was like totally surprised by that. Oh. Look at that moisture coming out of this guy. Oh my goodness. Boy, does this look amazing. Alright, so let's give this guy a slice and see how we did. Wow. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wow. That flavor is unbelievable. It's melting in your mouth. Get a hint of that black pepper, definitely the coriander. Wow. Unbelievable. That, my friends, is the perfect piece of meat. I tend to say that a lot. If you like what you see, guys, please click that like button down below, subscribe to the channel, click the bell thing so you can be notified as to what's coming up next. If you're seeing this on IGTV, jump over to YouTube. Subscribe to our channel there. Thanks, guys. Oh my God. This thing is remarkable. Wow. Wow.